so I'm here with Sebastian's 10-month update. I think this is really late because he's 11 months now. I'm going to say it's the 10-11 month update because that way I don't have to do two, because he's going to be 1 soon, so there's going to be there's definitely going to be a video all about his party and what we plan to do. So let's get started. This month, or these 2 months, or the last 4 weeks I'd say, have been, there's just so much change in Sebastian. He's just changing by the day. My husband said yesterday we can't keep up with the change in him. He's just really, just every day there's something new that he can do, some new skill. So the first thing is that Sebastian can now crawl. He started to crawl probably about 4 weeks ago. The time's flown. I think when I think back though, it was around 4 weeks ago. And one day he just kind of bunny hopped to something. He wanted something and he bunny hopped. And then the next day he was able to kind of move his legs separately, and then next thing he's kind of crawling all over the place. So it was very quick in those 2 days. Those of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen a video that was probably looks quite distressing, but obviously I didn't leave Sebastian in that way, where he's crying his eyes out because he's on all fours and he just can't go anywhere because he just was so frustrated because he couldn't crawl, and I felt so sorry for him. But now I've noticed such a change in his behaviour. He's so happy, like really happy, because he can get whatever he wants. We've noticed a huge change in nursery. All of the other children in nursery were able to crawl, or some of them even walk, the little tiny babies in his kind of age group. And Sebastian was the only one who couldn't crawl, and now he's crawling and he's playing with his friends and he's having a great time, and when I pick him up he's really happy, whereas before he'd be really tired and really miserable. We're really chuffed about that. He can also pull himself up on pretty much anything, which is obviously difficult because it means that we have to safety guard everything. We're putting out all the safety gates and all the kind of little things that you put on the door to stop them opening and all that kind of stuff. And he has been, not intentionally, but kind of terrorising the dog a little bit. Like he walks up to the dog and tries to pull his face, and Mr. Patch is really tolerant, but you know, I still worry. I feel sorry for Mr. Patch, and Mr. Patch kind of goes back for more. He doesn't like walk away and hide. He kind of goes back to play again, and I don't want him to think it's kind of like a rough game like with one of his doggy friends, because Sebastian, yeah, wouldn't cope with that. Anyway, so that's that, and he's doing so much better with his bottles now. He's drinking all his bottles morning and evening, which was a bit difficult. What else? He's got all his teeth at the front. He's got 4, 5, 6. I think I might have mentioned that in his last video, but it doesn't, touch wood, appear that he's teething again. And you know, at the moment I'm hoping that it's kind of, we're in a bit of a pause between his next teeth that he's cutting through, though he still seems to show signs that he is in a bit of discomfort. He, touch wood, hasn't been poorly since I reported last time, because when he started nursery he was just so sick all the time. We were all really sick, but touch wood, he's at nursery today and I'm thinking, please don't bring home some kind of disease. But you know, he seems to have been physically a little bit better. We've had the odd kind of virus here or there, but it's okay. Sebastian in the last couple of days has been sleeping better, but before then he was not doing very well at all. He was kind of screaming through the night and crying, and then he was coming into bed with me and my husband was going downstairs. And just for us as a family, I love co-sleeping with Sebastian, but for us as a family it doesn't really work very well, just because of my husband's work and just, you know, all of us needing to get good, appropriate night's sleep. I do feel I get better night's sleep when I co-sleep with him, but you know, I do feel that I want him to get used to his own bed. Not that I don't believe that co-sleeping makes a rod for your own back at all. I'm so supportive of it, but I think for us, we want him to not rely on coming to bed with us, because I have seen struggles that other parents do have, and for us it's the right thing to do. So I'm very against controlled crying. However, it got to the point where I was so desperate that I really didn't know what else to do, that I ended up researching it. And then I found a few videos from what I would consider to be attachment parents, even though they don't co-sleep, on ways in which you can not control crying, but it's more controlled timed crying, to make sure that your child isn't distressed in any way, but that you can let them know that you're there, but also that you're not going to allow them to come into bed with you, basically. So what we have been doing is when he wakes up in the night and he's crying, usually it's because he wants his dummy or he's teething, but lately, because we've been bringing him to bed with us, it's because he wants to come into bed with us. So we've just given him his dummy, given him his muslin. I give him a t-shirt of mine that I've worn and tuck him in, and then I will go away and leave him for at least 15 minutes. If after 15 minutes he's still continuing to cry quite distressingly, then I will go back in and do the process again, and I will keep doing that from 15 minutes to 20 minutes to longer. But actually, we've not really had to go to that stage. Usually now at 15 minutes he's whining rather than crying. He hasn't really distressfully cried at all while we've done this. So today was the second night of it, and it worked really well. He went back to sleep pretty much straight away and slept till 7:15, which was really, really good. Normally he wakes up at like 6. So it's been quite a controversial thing, I know, but these are all things I was so against. I was so against formula, I was so against puree, and I was so against controlled crying, and they were all things I ended up doing. And controlled crying is something I've done out of real desperation, and I've noticed I've had more judgments from the parents whose babies sleep really well. You know, because their babies sleep really well, they've never had to go through it, and therefore they're kind of like, oh, I can't believe you would do that, it's gonna like damage them for the rest of their life. Sebastian is the happiest baby I know. He's so happy, and I know that 15 minutes of crying, which isn't kind of wailing or anything, it's just more like moaning, is not going to mentally damage him. It's just worked, it's just been what's right for us, you know. But that has been frustrating, getting the judgment from the parents whose babies do sleep, you know. So it'd be quite interesting if one day their babies decided to like scream all night long and come into bed with them, and then see what their response would be. As for myself, I feel completely back to normal now. It's wonderful. I feel so happy. I feel really just absolutely in love with Sebastian, full of so much joy and excitement for him and to see him every day. And I think that's made me realise now that I'm ready to do my postnatal depression video, which has been kind of long awaited, but I've really needed to give myself the time to kind of heal from that because it was so horrendous. So that's something that I'm going to be doing over the coming weeks, especially as we're coming into Sebastian's first birthday. I just feel like my heart has kind of pushed out any kind of selfishness and any fear that I had, and it's filled with love and selflessness and everything that I need to be the best mother I can for Sebastian. And I just feel like really, really good in myself, in my emotional kind of well-being now. I still have like down days, and my physical health has been pretty bad as well for other reasons that are to do with myself that I don't talk about in these vlogs, but my physical health has been somewhat of a struggle. However, emotionally, my emotional attachment to Sebastian is just completely different to how it was. Obviously, when I first had Sebastian, as a lot of you know, that I had a lot of struggles to bond with him, mainly because of my hormones and because of the whole kind of labour and delivery. It really affected that. So it is so wonderful. I feel like you're all like, there we go. It is so wonderful to feel like that now, and you know, I feel kind of like I've birthed the mother in me, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm actually in my heart a mother now, and that's what has made all the difference. So that's it for Sebastian's 10 to 11 month update. If you are a keen follower of me, you'll know that I update my Instagram constantly. I don't have Facebook at the moment. It's so kind of like, it's just not what I want. It's so like Joe McKyle yesterday, Facebook. It's all about Instagram. So I'm on Instagram, massive Instagrammer, and I absolutely love putting on photos of Sebastian and videos of Sebastian. So if you like my Instagram, the link is in the description bar, and follow me on there. You'll get to see loads of little pictures and things of Sebastian. And if you like the video, I'm so sorry, it's just, I'm tired. And if you like the video as well, and it doesn't take 5 minutes to like and subscribe and share and everything else, that would be fantastic. And I guess that's it. I will see you guys soon. Bye!